What's up, guys? My name's Dan, or as most of you know me, Twisty, and today we're looking at the AFL Evolution Fanhub. We're going to be taking a look today at the Team Manager page here, because what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the team tactics that are actually involved in creating a team. So we will do maybe a little more in-depth stuff on this actual Team Manager later once we have a team. But what you want to do to have a look at the team tactics that you can use in AFL Evolution is you're going to go to recruit players. You're going to create a new team. Go to recruit players. And what you're going to do is you're going to just hit the left bumper, as you can see down here at the bottom of the screen, or L1 if you're using a PlayStation controller like I am, and that will open up the tactics menu. So you can have a look at the different tactics that there are in the game. You've got a number of them. Some I think won't really be affected by how you play, but more so how the AI will play when they're using that team. So let's go through those. The first one you've got is the direction, which will this will help you as you play, because it's going to determine where your players set up on the field, whether you go through the corridor, they move sort of more narrower. If they're on the wings, they move out a little bit. And then if you're playing sort of a balanced game style, you've got sort of players in both directions if you want to have a look at that different area of the field. Speed. Now, this is what I think will be affected by how the AI will play. I don't think it will affect you too much. I mean, obviously, if you want to play fast, you're going to play fast. You're going to play on. You're going to go quickly. If you want to, chip the ball around and then play fast, it's not going to matter whichever one you hit for speed. I think this is going to only affect the way the AI are using that team. And obviously, I think the AI would use all of these tactics, by the way, for when you are playing against them. So different teams will have different setups and different tactics to how they play you and how you play them, and yada, yada, yada. That's the way things go. But let's look at the defensive side of things. We got the fullback line and the halfback line, very similar in the way that these are set up here. We'll go based on the defending ones first. So basically, they'll only leave their direct opponent when a teammate has won the ball. If you have it as a balanced option, they will leave when a teammate is about to win the ball. So when there's certain of your teammate winning the ball, that they will peel off. Or if you want to play a really attacking game style, your backs and your fullbacks or your halfbacks and your fullbacks can run off their player when there is going to be a contested ball. So try to bring that extra number forward to the contest if that's the way you plan on playing. So if you want that super attacking game style, but it might leave them open over the back, that's just up to you and how you play and how risky you plan on playing. But I think it's a pretty good thing to have. Now let's take a look at the wings here. These sort of like half circles appear as though this is where your winger is obviously going to be set up around the field, and you've also got a couple of options here. You can either have them as balanced, so they're going to play loose man, or they're going to play loose when you have the ball, but they're going to man up when the opposition is in the ball. So I feel like if both teams have wings, they probably can't necessarily play loose because they're going to be manned up a lot of the time anyway. And then if you've got them as attacking, they're going to be trying to drag their opponent into that forward end of the 50 arc. So sort of about that 60-70 meter range. Give you sort of an option if you get a clearance to just go wide out there and hit up your wingman to have an entry inside 50. Let's take a look at the midfielders now. You can either have them as balanced, or defending, balanced, or attacking. So with these three options, you can either have your mids playing really tight on their opponents. You could have one of them pushing forward, or you could have two of them pushing forward, that being the rover and the center. You could have two of those players pushing forward. And then you've also got your center here, which you can modify as well if you want them to listen to the way your midfield tactics are run, aka do you want them to be the attacking player there? Do you want them to play defensive if you've got this as defensive or balanced? Or do you want to have them as a tagging role on the opposition's rover? So you can do that as well. I think this is the only way you can actually tag in the game, or it appears like it might be the only way you can tag, and it looks like you can only tag one player, so you can only tag the other team's rover. I'm not sure whether or not that's going to be available for other players as well, or just the center, but I feel like that's probably a good move, seeing as, the tagger is basically dead anyway. And now we go to the ruckman, very similar to how it's worked in the other couple of games. This circle does look as if this is where that ruckman will set up. So if they want to set up, sort of that back 50 end, if you want them in the middle of the ground, or if you want them to push forward, I think that's how these three tactics will work. So obviously, it's very similar to how it worked in Live 1 and Live 2. If they play extra in defense, they want to play extra forward, or if you want them to just hang around in the middle of the ground and sort of maybe be, a kick or so behind play, I think is what it used to be in the old games. Whether they still do that or whether they just stick in the center of the ground, not too sure, but I still think it's very similar as the other ones. We'll look at your half forwards and your full forwards, and these ones are a little bit different to the fullbacks and halfbacks. They're not as straightforward. Your opponents can either be, balanced, sort of just like hanging around in the 50 and giving lead options when you have the ball, or you can have them push a lot further up the ground and trying to win the ball a lot higher up the ground. So if you have your half forwards as attacking, that's probably a better option to then leave your full forwards, providing leading options inside that attacking 50, which is what I feel like this attacking one is. It says constantly providing leading options and only man up when the opposition has the ball. Even though these lines are sort of a little further out for the attacking one, I hope that your forwards remain further inside that 50. And then if it's balanced, then they will lead further up the ground. So I feel like they may have got these arrows around the wrong way, but I think that it's it's still fine, And if you want to play your forwards exactly how you want to play your forwards, and then we've got a couple of things here for your kickouts, which are the final things we're going to have a look at with the team tactics. You've got when you are receiving the kick out, you've got sort of your leading option. So you got your guys in the pocket, you got your half backs leading in, you got your centre half back leading in, and all kinds of just players leading in to give you an easy option in those back pockets. Generally you get that first kick out to the left or right pocket before you go then long down the line. You can have them as a spread if you'd like. So your team would set up on one side of the ground, either the right or the left. I'm assuming that it's going to be for both, not just for the right hand side. And then the ball will be kicked out. And you've got all those players long down the line, and then you can sort of just work the ball through the corridor, and you get this one winger just chilling out the back here, so you can switch the play and then enter from another area of the ground. Again, I mean, we're going to have to experiment with how these actually work and how we're going to play and use the different types of tactics to find our ideal scenario of how you want to play. But it does look like, there's a different variety of how people can play just based on how they want to set up their tactics. And then the final thing we're looking at is the kick-out defense. So we'll go with the simple one first, man on man, obviously lining up on the forwards there in the back line, just trying to, and the forward pockets here, it says they will cover space if their direct opponents provide a short option. So it looks like these guys are allowing those back pockets into the spot, and then you're sort of zoning it a little bit there. But then you've got the full zone where everyone's going to be in a zone, just sort of trying to cover one or two men, guarding that space to cut off a kick down the field. And then you've got the press, which I think is something that a lot of people are going to want to use, because you can just have this line and wall of players set up that's going to make it hard for any team to get it out of the defense. And I guess that, again, I think it was in AFL Live 2 as well. Obviously, we didn't see this physical representation of it, but I think it does look like an interesting tactic, and whether or not you have to go over that press or find a way through it with a chain of handballs is going to be really interesting to see how people play that and how it works out. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let me know how you plan on playing or using these tactics with AFL Evolution. We're going to have to try them out and see which ones work best and which ones might not be the best ones to use, which ones counter the other ones. Oh, there's going to be so much. Do you change your tactics mid-game if you're losing? Do you go really defensive if you're winning? It's up to you guys. Let me know what you plan on doing in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up. And more AFL Evolution news is coming, I suppose. Or at least we'll do our best to keep you updated when things come out. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.